While everyone focuses on the Georgia three-peat, we're not talking about the Utah three-peat enough. Utah has won the Pac-12 2 years in a row, and it feels like that's the most overlooked thing in college football. Everyone's right back to picking USC, Oregon, and Washington to win the Pac-12, and it's easy to see why, but Utah deserves a lot of love as well. This is a team that plays with good culture, they play with purpose, and Kyle Whittingham deserves a lot more love and a lot more recognition than he gets. We'll talk about 10 players today that will give them a chance to win that three-peat, and it's going to be a fun group as long as everyone can stay healthy. Passing attack is in limbo right now. Quarterback position remains kind of a question. We know who the starter should be, it's just a matter of health. But a guy like Money Parks could have a big year, even if it's not the quarterback that we're all anticipating. And a guy who averaged 15.9 yards per catch could have a big impact on this passing attack, could make this team even better. It's a group that honestly the passing attack was solid. I think that's the best way to put it. At times it was explosive. At times they didn't really need to be the most explosive group. Running the football, it will still be a key. It will still be a staple in the Utah offense. But having a guy like Money Parks back will make a big impact. Another player that will fit that role as well at wide receiver is DEVAUGHN VELE. You look at 695 yards, 5 touchdowns, a big player at 6'5", 210 pounds. So again, whoever's playing the quarterback position has a couple options. They have a few options actually. We'll talk about one more in a little bit, but I really liked Utah because these are names that you don't talk about. These are names that most of college football does not pay attention to. They just don't know who those Parks and Villa, you don't know who they are because the casual football fan doesn't pay enough attention, at least into deep into the depth chart for Utah. And honestly, that's why I really like football is because college football, because you have so many guys that people don't know and they could become household names by the end of the year. Another player, but on the defensive side of the ball that could do that is Junior Tafuna. In his career, he's had a pretty solid production for Utah, and I think that Utah's defense is so fun to watch. If you're looking for a team that's not your Alabama and Georgia, although Georgia's defense is so fun to watch because they're so talented and they play so well together. Utah is high on that list. This is a group that features they do feature some NFL talent. I'm not going to sit here and act like they don't have NFL talent. They do, but there's also a ton of guys that make life miserable for everybody they play, but no one knows who they are. And they're not an NFL talent, or maybe not first round NFL talent, first round, second round. Junior Tufuna is one of those guys who can wreak havoc for any team that he faces. He is someone that, again, will mostly help his teammates behind him by commanding a lot of extra attention. But I just honestly, one thing, if I could pick one thing to go watch, I would go watch Utah's practices because the offensive defensive lines are some of the best in college football. And Kyle Whittingham actually said that. He believes that he has a really good group in the trenches on both sides of the ball. And when you look at this year's team, it's easy to see why. SATAOA LAUMEA comes back after 33 games of experience, and you've seen him play a couple different positions. You've seen him play at guard. You've seen him play at tackle. He is an absolute unit when it comes to blocking. He has a tenacity that I really like. He has the ability to be a ferocious blocker, someone who is going to plant any and everybody that's in his way. And that is a tone setting mentality that gets Utah places. That is the reason why Kyle Whittingham likes this group. That's the reason why he likes his team. And it's really easy to see why Utah has won back-to-back Pac-12 championships is because their front line, both on the offense and the defense, are kicking butt and taking names, and they don't care who knows them. They don't care if anybody's paying attention. They're going to win, and they're going to find ways to win without anybody recognizing them. That is one of the best things about Utah. Again, underdog mentality, the ability to just say, we don't care what anybody thinks of us. We're going to go out and win. We saw that with both USC games last year, one in the Pac-12 championship. Utah is a team that you do not want to mess with. And the fact that they're already underdogs in 2023 is right where they want to be. The player they added in the transfer portal, DAMUNI from Stanford, a solid player for Stanford, 204 tackles in his career, and he'll be a solid player for Utah. He fits what Utah wants to do. He is another underrated name that you probably don't know, but he is someone who's going to make a ton of plays for the Utes. He is someone who knows where to go. He's a smart player. You have to be when you play at Stanford. You add that to Utah, who has a group that brings a great mentality, a great approach, a great culture, and now you have another talented playmaker that is going to do a lot of really exciting things. A playmaker on offense that comes back that kind of fell off the radar last year, mostly because of injury, was BRANT. Dalton Kincaid stole the spotlight, and for good reason. You saw him elevate his talent, elevate his draft stock to be able to NFL move on to the NFL, and he's probably going to have a good career. BRANT, before he got hurt, was one of the best tight ends in college football. It was a name that everybody knew, and now he comes back, and they're hoping he can stay healthy for a full year. A full year of BRANT will make this passing attack so much better. And at least he gives you a reliable target, someone who you know can catch foot. This is a guy with 148 catches to his career. 1,800 yards, 16 touchdowns. He is a proven playmaker. Maybe not the biggest guy at 6'2", 229 pounds at the tight end position, but someone who knows how to make plays. He is a reliable player. And no matter who's playing the quarterback position, they at least know they can find him downfield and they will feel safe and feel secure and know they have that safety blanket. The defense will go back to that. Green Reed is back after a solid year, a big year for him, actually, at 72 tackles, 9.5 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. Again, I'm really excited for this front seven. I'm really excited to see what Utah can do. And again, the fact that they're back to being underdogs blows my mind, but also it makes it really exciting if you're a Utah Utes fan. Another player that has NFL talent. We talked about they do have NFL talent. Cole Bishop is one of those guys. And at 6'2", 207 pounds, it's easy to see why. That's a size that people really like the safety position. People are already talking about him in 2024 NFL mock drafts. And you see the film, if you watch what he can do, it's easy to see why people want him on their team. It's easy to see what he can do for the future of Utah and what he can do for the future of some NFL team. He is going to places. He's going to be a really exciting player to watch in 2023, and he's going to be a big reason why Utah is once again one of the toughest teams to beat. A player that broke out kind of at the end of the year, a player that really caught on fire is Jaquindon Jackson. Now, maybe if the quarterback position is struggling, this is a former quarterback who transfers from Texas. You could maybe put him and just run Wildcat or let him throw the football. Maybe if you're in a pinch, Jaquindon Jackson could be that guy. 6'2", 228 pounds, an absolute unit running the football. Some of the runs he made in 2022 at the end of the season, specifically in the Rose Bowl against Penn State, are a big reason why I'm excited for him. Breakout season coming. If you're not familiar with his game, go watch his film. You will not be disappointed. Biggest question mark for Utah this year is Cam Rising. Cam Rising tore his ACL in that Rose Bowl game. So that's this year he tore his ACL. Getting him back up to speed is probably the biggest concern for Utah. And healthy Cam Rising is really fun to watch. Healthy Cam Rising is a reason why I like their chances to three-peat, but it's just a matter of where is the confidence, how back to 100% is he, and what can he do on that restructured ACL. Cam Rising is really good at running the football efficiently. He is a solid passer, maybe not the greatest passer, but I think that with the ACL, maybe you take away some of that running ability. You're not as confident, and maybe you just don't have, again, I don't know where he is in the recovery process. That's probably the biggest thing I'm paying attention to. But again, a healthy Cam Rising puts them in good position, puts them in a spot where they can three-peat, where they can defend their crown. And if he is healthy and we don't have to worry about that, Utah is in business, and I really like what they could do this year.